Hi, good morning, wherever you are. How are you? So, welcome to today's live stream. If you can hear me, please just communicate where are you listening us from. Hi, please let me know if they can hear us. Okay, so I'm really so happy to have you in the session today. So we are going to be discussing. Uh, yeah, Stacy, I can see you. Welcome. Okay, so in the interest of time, I think I will just go straight into the discussions. The others will be joining us. So thank you so much again for those who have made it to join. And I am so happy that you're going to be looking at one very key thing about business. And specifically because in the SME classroom, we focus so much on small and medium enterprises, looking at how they can be able to start and grow their own businesses. And we focus a lot on just bringing one lesson at a time, just learning one or two things out here, things that can be able to help us go into the next level. So I'm really so glad and I'm happy that you're here. And I am hoping that out of this, you're going to gain something um, from this. So I am going to just start us off. So on how to start our own businesses. Let me say that first, starting a business is a very exciting journey, and it requires careful planning, strategic decisions, and resilience because there is a lot that happens when it comes to starting a business. So whether you're looking to start small or even launch some scalable venture out there, I'm just going to give some step by step kind of things you need to look out for and what you need to look for so that you can engage your business and engage yourself for the next level. So, welcome so much. Um, as you come in, I would like to know where you're watching us from and even how you got to hear about the SME classroom. Have you engaged with us before? Is this your first time? If this is your first time, feel so much welcome. And if you have been engaging with us in the past, and still very happy to have you here today. All right, so as we start, we say that the first thing that we need to be able to think through is being able to identify our business ideas. Now, normally when you're looking at starting a business, it is important to know what exactly are you coming to do in the market. And market is huge. There's probably many more people who are trying to do the same thing. So for you, what you're going to be doing is to ask yourself, how am I going to engage in this market where probably other people have already been existing, they're already doing things, they're already more established, and probably you're just coming in a small way. It can be a very scary thing. And actually, one of the things that's been known is many ideas have died on the table. One, because of fear, or even just not knowing where to start. So many people have ideas of what they can do. They find issues out there in the communities, they find things that they could work on. But the whole idea of just going to start a business is can be very scary. It can be mind-boggling. You don't know where to start. It's even just scary to imagine how many more people are already doing this thing, and you're coming to just put your head in the midst of people who are doing, who are already doing and established in what you want to come and do. But nevertheless, as you're thinking about your business idea, it is important that you start thinking from the terms of what exactly are you coming to offer the market? What is your offer for whatever you think is going to sell in the market? Now, remember your product is very key. And in this case, when we say a product can be a good or a service. A good is something that is tangible, and a service definitely is a service. So your product, so whether good or service, needs to be very clear in your mind. What exactly are you bringing out in the market in form of a product? Because that way, you need to know whether the market is ready for it. Is it something that they are looking for? It is important to be very clear on this, because at times I know as business people, we step out into the marketplace and what we are looking for is, or rather, what you're bringing into the market is our passions, things that we feel we are so strongly inclined to want doing. But you see, the market is not necessarily looking for your talent or your passion in form of just the way it is. It is a good thing to have a talent and a passion. It's a key driver that takes you to the next level. But however, what I'm saying is the talent or the whatever you feel like you're so good at, that you're so passionate about, is it something that the market is looking for? So what you're looking at is, for you to be able to do that, you need to now go out and do some form of market research. Just go and find out what is the market looking for, by whether you could be just talking to people and tell them, you know what, I have this idea, and what do you think about it? So, is it something you could actually pay for? So, I don't know whether maybe any one of you can share what ideas you have, or rather, you have ideas, but you don't know where to start it. You don't know what people are likely to give in for. So, it is important to just have that in mind, so that then you can be able to see whether through research that can also be able to work for you. Now, the other thing, even now, while you're doing that market research, or while you're trying to find out whether the market is really ready for your passion, for your talent, is to ask yourself also, um, the audience that is out there, the people that you're thinking this could be my customer, are they willing to pay for it? Now, because at times what happens is that you have all these good ideas, but when you come back to reassessing how far things can be in the market, because you're coming in to bring a product, do business, and make profit out of it, or get whatever returns you're looking out for. So the main thing is you can do any type of business. It doesn't matter that even you're collecting soil or water and selling it, even things that are waste in the product in the society. The main thing is to ask yourself, is there someone who is willing to buy? Is there someone who is willing to spend their money to buy this thing that I'm bringing out in the market? And this thing is what you're calling the product, whether it's a service or whether it is a service, or whether it is a good. A good is tangible. So ask yourself, is there someone who is really willing to spend money for this? So once you're able to find that, then that allows you to be able to know that you can now go into business. That is one very key thing. Even before you go to anything else, determine who is going to be your customer. Who are they? Where are they? What is their need? Are they willing to pay for it? So the bigger the need, the more they need it, the more they are likely to be willing to pay for it. If you find people who you could be thinking in your own mind the way you like something. Like, for example, one time I was doing a business coaching for a lady in business, and she was selling some form of soap and body butter. And when she went into the market, I asked her, how did you decide on this as a product? And what she told me was that, for her, she used to love how it used to, she used to apply it, and she used at times to struggle a lot to find it. So she decided to make it. First, she would be able to take care of her own skin, but she felt now she could also be able to sell it to other people. But she was struggling. So I asked her, well, it is fair enough that you actually wanted this, or you desired so much to have this product, but exactly, was there anyone else who was willing to buy this? Is there anyone else who finds a need for this? And so that's why I'm bringing us back to the same thing of asking ourselves, is there someone who is willing to buy my product? How much are they willing to spend to buy this product? Once you're able to find that, then it becomes so much easier for you now to take and push that product into the market because someone is willing to pay for it. I normally say for a business, if you're able to get that there is someone who is willing to buy your product, you're good to go. There is even no need of even of evaluating many other things. And one thing with entrepreneurs that I normally like to acknowledge is that they have a sense which tells them, yeah, this is a business that I can do. And one of the things is once you find there is a customer willing to buy from you, the rest are details. You can go places. And so I want to encourage you first, just reevaluate your product, reevaluate what you're bringing into the market. What shape is it? What are the features? What are the benefits? What is it? What kind of message is it speaking to your client or to your would-be customers, your potential customers, your prospective customers, whatever name you may want to give them? Once you have that, you're good to go. Other things will easily fall in place because once customer is there, you're good to go. In this way, imagine you've brought out a product in the market and people are signing up. If it was a service, people are signing up for that service. If it is a product, people are even asking for orders. People are asking that they want to buy. So if that is happening for you, you're already good to go. I mean, as in you're already in business. Other things now in terms of how you package your business, what you need to do, will just be things which will be like, it's like additionals that come into the business. So that's why I'm still stressing out your audience, your target customer. It is very, very key that you may be able to understand who they are, even have a persona, create an ideal customer of who is going to buy your product and now start pushing that product to them so that you can see how they're taking it. And that also forms a part of the market research because the moment your product is out there and customers are starting to interact with it, they're starting to buy it, even if it's in small bits, it's important that you can be able to get feedback as quickly as possible so that you can know how is it working for them. Are they still willing to continue buying? Are they still willing to continue subscribing for your services, whatever it is that you're doing? If you find that the answer is yes, then we can say you're already good to go, you're in business. Okay. And remember, even as you're doing your market research, you can also use online tools for research just to validate your ideas, validate your data. So if like you have channels, your own personal channels, including business channels. You can run some kind of maybe opinion polls. You can do some kind of questioning, and just to get people to tell you what they feel about your product. So once you get the answers, then you can be able to analyze, use that data to help you to get to the next level, help you to get to know what you need to do differently, and how you can be in touch with your customers. So that's the first thing, being able to identify what your business idea is and whether it is needed in the market. Okay, so I think I can go into now the next step. Now, once you have a business idea, once you know that this idea is in your mind, and I think I will refer you to one of the videos that I've done on understanding even that even the ideas that we have actually God given. In this way, business ideas are good. And God gives us those ideas in our minds so that you can be able to step out and solve problems that affect the community. So as you come with solutions to the problems in the society, even though you're being paid for it, just know you're a co-creator with God. You're already doing this with God. You're already bringing solutions to the world. You're already serving humanity through your business. And you know what? Your business can actually be a stepping stone once doing good for the society. So don't see yourself as a small person. Don't see yourself just another just business person in the marketplace. It's just a change of mindset. Once you start seeing your business as a way of resolving issues and as a way of bringing solutions, you're likely to find yourself doing very differently and working on your business from a very different perspective. All right, so let's look at the next stage is where you now develop a business plan. A business plan ideally is just planning for your business. And even though you don't put it in record, every entrepreneur will always have this at the back of their minds. In fact, whenever I'm teaching and whenever I'm training and helping entrepreneurs to work on their businesses, most of them have these business ideas full in their minds. They know what they want. They know how they're going to do it. The only thing is that it's not documented. And so what we encourage is, especially when you're starting off, because somewhere along the way you may need to have this documentation, or rather your idea documented of how you want to do business. And the reason being, maybe sometimes you may want to partner with some certain other business people, like even financiers or others, suppliers, and many other people you can partner with, and they might want to see this in writing. We actually normally say in business, as you continue to grow, your documentation goes ahead of you. Before even you open your mouth, you'll have sent your documents, which will have gone ahead to speak for you. So your documentation needs to be very, very clear. The earlier you start working on it, the better. And the reason is, if you have a business plan very early on, at least you can work on it and improve on it as you go on. Unlike where you've already started running the business, everything is running, but then you realize along the way, oh, I need to provide a business plan for whatever reason. Now, at that point, it's not even easy to know where to start. It becomes a skelter of kind of activities, just trying to come up with a business plan. So you can start with it from the word go. And a business plan is, I think say when entrepreneurs hear about a business plan, they think big things, and no, it's just a simple document that just where you just kind of like just put down your thoughts and your plans for how your business is going to grow, where you want to start, how you want to do it. And so you just start by just describing it. What exactly do you want to do? Say, for example, you want to do manufacturing of soap. So your business is a simple manufacture of soap, or manufacture of organic soaps, or I want to open a restaurant, or I want whatever it is, whatever you want to sell, you just describe it first. So what exactly is it that you're doing that you want to do? So this is where you become very clear on what product you have, or what service you're bringing, or goods you're bringing into the market. And then from there, you can do an analysis. Now, remember, we talked about even when you're starting the business, you're not necessarily going to be unique. There are very few businesses which are too unique, as in there's nobody else doing it. So doing a market analysis becomes very key, because then you can be able to understand what is already happening out there in the market. You can understand what competition is doing. And market analysis helps you to understand also what is the competitor, what are the competitors doing so well that you need either to emulate them or do likewise. You also can be able to find at this point, what are competitors not doing? What gaps have they not met? And this is where now, when you're thinking about your idea, when you're thinking about your products, you can ask yourself, what can I do now to bring in the solution, or to bridge the gap that the competitors have not met? So say, for example, you have a restaurant, and the restaurant here serves about everyone, but you realize there is this group of elderly people who are looking to eat maybe very healthy kind of foods. And those are not, they are there, but they are not able to get into any restaurant because of that. Now, once you discover that there is that niche of a market that has not been served, what you could do is then you can say, yes, I'm starting a restaurant. It's a restaurant like any other. However, I will target the older generation, say people who are 50 years and above. Now, the good thing is you will know that what they're looking for is very different from what every other restaurant maybe is offering. Like in the city, we have so many restaurants that are doing like fast foods, like chips, sausages and all that. But now, if you find that your client requires now these other foods that we classify as LD, then you're going to bring in more normal foods that are likely to be eaten by those people. So you'll find that your clients who never used to go into restaurants because they couldn't find something befitting of their meals is able to come and now patronize your restaurant because of that. And this goes to every other business. So market analysis will help you be able to identify exactly who is my customer, who are they, what are their needs, what are they looking for. Equally, what is competition doing out there? Is there anyone else who is already getting these people? What are the other complementary products that are out there, including the supplementary, those which go together, those which are directly competing with what you want to do? So you do all that and find out what are competitors doing. And even also, it helps you to start finding out what is the industry looking like in this space. So if, for example, you're in soap making, that's manufacturing industry. So you would be asking yourself, what is exactly going on in there, in that market for manufacturing? Is it maybe the regulations? Could it be the rules? Whatever it is that is directing the efforts in that industry, whatever is trending, is what that you can be looking at and finding out how do you come in and also get aligned to that industry. Please feel free to ask me any question along the way in case you have any questions, so that I do not go ahead and leave you behind. So when you're doing that, you can use various, like there are various tools you can use. One of the tools you can use for market analysis is what we call PESTEL. PESTEL is an acronym. It stands for political environment, economic environment, S stands for social, T stands for technological, stands for environmental, and L for legal. So I'll just try and define all of them. So political, you're looking at where you are, whatever is happening politically, how is that going to affect your business? If, for example, we are about that time of elections, we know very well around elections time, there's going to be maybe some level of there could be some level of uncertainty, probably some insecurities. You never know. And even just to ask, I don't know, around this time after Donald Trump had won the US elections, he has been signing many bills left, right, and center. In as much as I know, we are talking USAID, UN, and many other big organizations, but and those maybe also our suppliers or our customers. I know, for example, right here in Kenya, there's a lady who has been doing, uh, she's been doing catering for events for USAID. And not just because USAID is not in, it's not, uh, the funding is not there anymore. What does that mean to that business? That business is going to struggle a lot in as far as you said events are concerned, because one, that was one of their big clients and a main payer. And so going forward, it's likely to be very hard for them. They've got to start looking for new customers, otherwise they cannot be able to survive it. So you see, that kind of political temperatures can affect our businesses very easily, even when we are small businesses. Then E stands for economic in the PESTEL. So we have P, then E. E is for economic. Now, economic is where we look at all economic factors, the supply and demand factors. When there is high supply, demand is low. When demand is very high, most likely it's because supply is low. So, are you coming into an industry which has a very high supply? If you're coming to a space where there's high supply, demand is likely to be low. Giving an example, like here in Kenya, real estate, especially in the some of the suburbs areas around here, like Kilimani, Kileleshwa, and there's been a lot of like so many apartments that have come up, and which was unlike in maybe like 5 or so years in the past. It wasn't like that. So right now, the fact that there are so many, you don't even struggle to find a place to live. Now that means that the owners of those apartments have to struggle more to be able to find someone to either buy or even live in those apartments. Yet it's supposed to be a high-end area. So think about that. So if someone was coming and do real estate and their target is such kind of suburbs like the Kilimani and Kilelesho, already they will be building, but they're getting into a high supply area, which means demand is going to be low. So they're likely to struggle. But if you go to a place where supply is very scarce, it's low, then the demand is going to be so high. That's why when you find when demand is high, even you can dictate on the prices because then people are really looking for these things. So whatever price you're likely to push out there the product with, then it's likely to get a client or a customer. So think about that. Now that is P and E. S is for social cultural. So social cultural is the way of life. This is how people do things. So if, for example, you're an African, or if maybe when we are here Kenyan and you maybe you're a man, there is a way men do things, there's a way women do things, there's a way Africans do things, there is a way Muslims do things, there's a way Christians do things. So that's social cultural, is how people do things. So if your product comes and it's not aligned properly to the social cultural aspects of that community, you find you may suffer. But again, if it is aligned, again, you find that definitely this is going to be an easy flow with your product. So think about it so that you can be able to see how that is going to affect your business. That is now the S. T stands for technological. Now, again, over time, we've seen a lot of technological aspects and improvements and innovations and creativity around technology. So, for example, today there's a lot that is happening. People are easily selling online. Like what we're doing here now is a time you'd never have imagined. I could be talking to people who are from the US, people who are from Kenya, people who are from Uganda, people who are just next door neighbors. I mean, we can meet here online. So before it would have been, I don't know, we have to travel, we have to, go far places, do a lot of things differently to be able to just be able to achieve this. So when you're thinking about technological aspects, it also helps you to know what advancements are out there you need to be aware of to be able to deliver. Giving an example, if you have a product that targets young people, how do you manage to meet young people? Young people are always on phone, young people are so technologically advanced. Young people are always looking at how can I be able to get this? I mean, the first thing they hear about it, they want to quickly run and look for it online. So if you're not in that space, you find that young people are not going to find you, yet your target is the young people. So you need to know what technological advancements and creations and innovations are out there in the market will help you to be able to run your business the way you need to do it. Then the other E, he said pastel. So the other E after T is environmental. Now, today, businesses and many players and stakeholders in business are looking for sustainability of business, especially where you're looking to partner with, organizations and other players in the market who can be able to help you, either give you a stepping stone to move to the next level, like financials, like donors, and all that, including even customers. People are asking themselves, can this thing be sustainable? Can I be able, if I buy this product, will I be able to find it all the time whenever I need it? Or is it just for this time and that is it? So when you're thinking about environmental, think about sustainability. Think about how this is going to be there for the long term. That you're not just bringing in an idea in the market and within 2 days, 3 days it is gone, or within a month or next day it's gone. People are looking for how will I be so sure that I'll be able to find this product even 1 year down the line? And is this going to be in the same way that you advertised or promoted it right now, or is it going to be different? So it is important for you to be able to bring out that very clearly so that then sustainability is well adhered to. The last one is L in the pastel, and that is legal and any regulations, legal framework and the regulations. Now, the regulatory framework in any country or any place affects a lot of how we do business. For example, right here, as we speak now, right here in Kenya, there's been a lot of regulations around taxations and ways of doing business to an extent that even some businesses are starting to close or feel they cannot be able to cope. Now, if you're in that space where then the struggle is around the networks, is around what you can be able to provide. And you see, you need to be able to see if you can be able to survive that framework, that regulatory framework, that whatever is happening in the market. It is important for you to be able to know whether you can survive it, because if you can't, then it means there's going to be a huge issue around it. So just check around that. Now that is now about the pastel and doing a market analysis. There are many other tools that we can use. This is just an introduction. We're going to be doing so much more in this term, at least for doing this live stream. Today is the first day we have done a live stream, and I'm so happy to have you here. Even as you have joined us, we've been doing, we hope to be bringing in at least classes and lessons one at a time. Please do subscribe, do like this video, and also just share so that many more people can get to know about it. And we are really happy that you give us this kind of support. Now, the next thing that you may need think as you plan your business is organization, your organization structure and the management. Now, most people when they're starting business, you're likely to find that you're starting all by yourself. You're the only one. You're the one who's doing everything. You're the CEO of your business. You're the cleaner. You're the one preparing your own tea. Like you're doing about everything, and that is okay. Especially when businesses are still small and they are yet to scale. So, but even if you're doing all this by yourself, start thinking ahead. When the business is at this level, who else do you need to come into the business with you? And so this is where you start thinking about uh, how you even bring in your business. Do you go out and register it as a company? Remember, if you register it as a company, that means that the company is a legal entity on its own. It's like a different person, and so you can be able to run it without it interfering with your personal things. However, if you do it as a partnership, again, you can connect with someone else who has similar ideas like you or similar interest, and you can partner and come up with a business through a partnership, or even do it as a sole proprietor. Now, I know many businesses start as sole proprietorship. Many of them are likely then to open or go, secure a business name, but that business name is still them. It's just in their name, so it's still a sole proprietorship, even if it you've given it a name. Doesn't matter. But the main thing is decide how you want to do it. So even if you start as a sole proprietor because the business is small and probably you don't even have the resources in terms of finances to do all this registration and everything, just start it. But once you start, as you're doing your planning for it, you need to ask yourself, how would I want to see this business grow? Would I want to see it as just me in the business, or it's me and other people? So if you're thinking of a company, it's one of the best ways because it separates you from the happenings of your personal life and the business so that you can be able to stay apart, and something you may want to do as you scale your business. But even when you're starting, also think about not just how you form the company or just business formation. Think also about how many other people would you want to bring in the business. As you at times you close your eyes and see your business in the next 5 years, where would it be? So who are the other people would you need for you to be able to run this business successfully? And that you can imagine, maybe you'll be the CEO or the shareholder, and maybe you have now a manager, you've got one or two people, you have a cashier, you've got people to help you, and there are some businesses you cannot start on your own. For example, if you have a restaurant, it will be so difficult for you to start that kind of a business all by yourself, because you will need someone in the kitchen, you will need someone to serve, you will need someone to do orders. So even if you can do a lot of things at the very start, but at least you may at least have one person who will cook, then you serve, something like that. So think through. But the main thing is to just have that. Remember, a business plan is just a plan. It's something you do, you put down for the future. It's not yet happened. Okay, so the other thing is, like I said, when you're thinking about what product you're offering, is to also know what is your value proposition. What is it that you're going to be doing in the market that it is not already done? And this is where now you're thinking in terms of um, when we were talking about competitors and we said, what is it that they're not doing? Already that's a space that you can draw your value proposition around. What is the customer, when you're doing your market research, what is the customer looking for? Once you find what are their pains, what are their points of pain, what are they really looking for, what are their rewards, then you can now make your own value proposition based on those pains or based on those gaps that are existing in the market. That way, people will get to know, or rather to identify your product or your business with that value proposition. And that's what we call a unique selling proposition. Unique selling proposition, or a value proposition, something that makes you unique, someone that differentiates you from the others, something that makes you stand out. So think of all the things that you can do to your product so that you can be different from the others, and then put it down. Okay, now the next part of the planning is planning on sales and marketing. Now, we normally say every business person should be able to be a salesperson and a marketing person. In fact, as the owner of the business, you are this, we call you the chief marketing officer, the chief sales officer. Before anybody else, you are the salesperson. So I've done some coaching and mentorship of some businesses where I find the owners either like they don't even go to their businesses. They've left most of the operations to their employees. It's almost like you're ashamed of doing your own business, you know. So you can imagine if you yourself is not even showing up in your business, how do you expect other people to show up? Why would you imagine that other people will be so much enthusiastic about making money for you, whereas you yourself you're not even able to show up for your own business? Showing up in terms of, are you able to go and sit in your business, assuming it is a physical one? Can you go sit there and serve customers? And so that you can be able to understand what it exactly means to sell your product. Okay. So the first thing we start with is marketing, and marketing is creating awareness and positioning your product in people's minds. So positioning is about creating an emotion so that when people think about your product, they feel attached in a certain way. They feel what a desire to be identified with it. So when you're doing marketing, it's important to think, yes, you've already defined your product. You'll allow yourself, even as you bring out the information in the market or to the people, for them to know at what price will it be and where will you be located. How are you going to allow people to know you exist? So these are some of the things you look at as far as marketing is concerned. I know many a times when you're thinking marketing, you think advertisements, sales promotions, that kind of, shouting in the market. That's just part of it. And that's what we call promotion. But around that, you also need to be so promotions, that kind of, shouting in the market. That's part of it. And that's what we call promotion. But around that, you also need to be so clear. How are you exactly going to describe your product? How are you going to price it? And where exactly will you place your product? And it's the question that you ask yourself. How do my customers want to be reached? What channels do they want to be reached with? So as you're thinking through the channels that your clients or your proposed customers or potential customers are looking for, in how you can reach them. So you also now need to ensure that you're putting in place all those mechanisms that are going to help them be aware that you exist and you can actually reach out to them. But sales is a different thing altogether, even though they are mostly used interchangeably in business, marketing and sales, but they're not exactly the same. Marketing is creating awareness, sales is closing deals. Closing deals is the where the rubber meets the road in every business. It's about asking, how exactly am I going to ensure that I close these deals? There are many mechanisms of closing deals, but the main thing is that marketing prepares the way. Like the way the John the Baptist you used to say he came to prepare the way for Jesus. So equally, marketing is like John the Baptist. It is the one that prepares the way to the sales or the closing of deals. So think about it this way: that once you've put a marketing strategy in place, it creates awareness that makes sales so much easier to close. So sales is about closing the deal. It's about the actual selling. It's about the exchange of your product with money. It's about the whether you're exchanging immediately or through credit terms. It doesn't matter. The thing is, you're able to uh, you're able to exchange your product for a pay for it, and that's what sales is all about. So you need to have a strategy around it. Like, do you need to sell through direct people sales? Do you need to sell it yourself? Do you need to sell your product to partners? Do you need to do franchise? How do you want to sell? And so this helps you to also think through, and to also to help you think how you're going to reach your market and you're going to deliver your product to the would-be customer. Now, lastly, one of the other key things you need to plan around is financial planning. After all is said and done, I know many business people are always saying the reason why they're not able to grow is because of lack of capital. And capital is, yes, one of them. Capital is that first amount that you have that can help you to get to do business. But other than that, is that you're also going to be able to find, if you do not have money yourself to start, or to do business, where are you going to get it? So the easiest way is normally people will save. People will put aside some money that they can be able to start business with. But in the event that you don't have that money, where do you turn to? And so when you're doing all that, you need to know first, where will you get the money to start? Is it through savings? Is it through borrowing friends? Is it going to financial institutions and borrowing? Where are you going? What is your financial plan? And even when you start business, you need to start projecting the revenues. How are you going to make money? How are you going to bring in the revenues? Because cash flow is king in business. If there is no revenue in the business, it is likely to die a small death. So, how do you start? Where do you start? You need to be able to find how you're going to sustain your business in the long term so that it can be able to survive. Now, it is so sole business. It is important that you be able to find out that once you start the business, you're not going to be stuck in the middle just because you don't have the money. So start finding out where you can form, say, for example, partnerships, or other people can come in and help you to run the business. Venture capitalists, angel investors. There is a video that I did earlier on. You can be able and find out, especially on angel investors, who are the easier people to deal with when you're starting your own small businesses, when you're starting a small business, because these are, people who have money, individuals with money, who can be able to spare it, or their core business is to look or scout for businesses like yours that are either starting up or have just started and you're struggling financially, but it has a lot of hope. So once you've been able to structure and you're doing this business plan, you can give it to them and tell them, this is the business I am in. This is what I want to do. This is how I see the market. This is what makes me unique. And this is how I see myself being able to sustain this business in the long run. Even this is how it's going. So you show that through projections of your revenues, that you can be able to sell this number of units and get so much. When you get so much, these are all the cost of the business. Once you remove, these are the kind of profits that I'm going to be making. So over a period of say 6 months, 1 year, I'll be able to have paid you back, or I'll have been able to, to achieve this much. So with that kind of a story, you're able to convince someone to be able to bring in or to be able to partner with you in the business. That's what you need so much to be able to start off. So what I was just doing today is just the first part, like just helping you to understand that once you've come into business, you need to plan around it. You need to plan what needs to be done. You need to be able to structure it in a way that it can be able to be run sustainably. Definitely, you also need to take permits once you have the business. You need to be able to now look for the permits, like council permits, the licenses that allow you to run the business without issues. And once you've done that, then you're kind of like ready to start. So once you start, then the next thing is just for you to run the business and run it successfully. And I believe if you've reached up to here, if anyone has a question, please feel free to ask. Yeah, so just in summary, what I could say again is when you're starting your business, think about being able to identify your business idea. What is the solution that you're bringing out in the market? What is that product that you're bringing in the market? Then develop a business plan, which is ideally putting your thoughts into paper. What are you looking to do in the market? What product are you bringing? What is the competition like? What are the markets looking like? The industry that you're getting into, who are the people that you need to run with this business for you to succeed, and even including the marketing and sales strategies so that you can be able to push your product into the marketplace to your intended customers. Think about where you're going to get the financing. Is it going to be from in your own savings? Is it going to be coming from investors? Are you going to partner with financial institutions? So that's the other thing that you need to be thinking about. And then definitely once you have that, you also register the business. That, like we said, is it a company? Is it a partnership? Is it a sole proprietorship? Get the permits, get any licenses that you need for you to be able to start. Then once we've talked about securing the funding, not only for starting but running the business. Then the next thing is that you need to set up the operations. Like where will you open the business? Is it going to be online? Is it going to be physical? Who are the people you need to work with? You need to identify your suppliers, the customers, where are they, and just put systems in place. Like you need inventory, so you need to buy stocks, you need to do invoicing, you need to, all those things that you need so that you can start. And then you need to start building your brand. And that's what you say around marketing. It's where you're building brand and creating awareness so that you can be known for a specific thing and you become unique. So the systems that you use to be able to brand yourself. And once you've been able to do those things, I guess you're good to go. You're going to start. I guess there's nothing really much more that is left. So just remember that running business takes effort. It requires your dedication. It requires your discipline. It is one thing to also allow your mindset to be within what you're coming into. One of the things is many things we imagine that when you're starting your own business, it's just going to create money and freedom for you. You're going to have all the time to go and play golf and do visit people, go places. But at times that business requires a lot of your time. In fact, if you're coming from employment and you're looking for like a side hustle to work on or something like that, it could be that around this time you're actually working with maybe even working overtime. You're working maybe over 15 hours, and in the past you used to work 8 hours. So you're almost working double that time for you to sustain your business. So being an entrepreneur is not easy. It is a very lonely place. If I have to say from experience, it can be a very lonely place, but it's also very rewarding once you start and things start running well. So it's about you just ensuring that things are put in place and that you can be able to start your business without a lot of handles and issues that are likely to make you stop. Remember that research has shown that many small businesses do not see their third birthdays. In fact, that is even on the higher side, even their second birthdays. In other ones, they don't survive more than a year and two. So, in other ones, no, with that in mind, then what would it mean for you to plan for it so that you can avoid some of those pitfalls, some of those things that could easily take you to a downfall instead of your success? So, in our next live streams, our next live videos, you're going to be looking at some of those things. Today was just more of an introduction of where do you start, and I've been able to show you how you start with your idea, to planning for it, to getting financing for it, marketing and all that. So in case you have any final thoughts, any comments, you can feel free to chat, or you can ask, or you can just make a comment. But otherwise, we come to an end today. And I'm really grateful that you got a chance to join. And I'm looking forward for us to do this live more so that we can be able to have more interactive sessions where we can talk to one another, build one another. And I'm glad that you were able to join today. So I wish you all the very best. And I look forward to seeing you in the next. Thank you so much.